Now we are going to have a look at how you can export references from databases or search engines. First, make sure that you still have EndNote running in the background. I'm going to do a search on Library Search, which is on the AUT Library homepage, and searches across most of the library resources, such as books, articles, and AUT postgraduate theses and dissertations. So I'm going to put in my keywords and hit search. Then I'll select a collection. I'll look at the results from Articles and More to find journal articles and other academic papers on my topic. Here I might narrow down my search a bit more to get a good set of relevant results. So I'll search for peer-reviewed research in the last 2 years. I can then select the items I want to export to EndNote. On the first search results page, I can tick the items I want and choose Export. I leave the format as EndNote and then choose Download File. What happens next depends on which browser you're using. So I'm using Google Chrome here, and in that case, Chrome asks me where to save this little file called viewfind.enw. I'll just save it to my Documents folder. If I was using another browser, such as Firefox or Safari, I might see a slightly different message that might say something like, "Do you wish to save this file?" or "Do you wish to open this file?" Just click Yes, whatever the question is. In Chrome, once I've downloaded my file, I can click on it once in the Downloads bar, and because I have EndNote open in the background, the file is automatically exported into EndNote. And here are my references. If I would like to export items from more than one page of search results, I can do this by saving items to a list and then exporting from the list. Back in my search results, I'm going to tick some items and save them to a list. I'll be asked to log into my library account if I haven't done so already. I'll create a new list here. Now I can select the items I wish to export.
I can click on each reference now and check the Preview tab to see if I need to make any changes. And this is where it comes in really handy to be good at quickly editing your references in EndNote. So for instance, for this reference here, it looks pretty good, but if I go and have a look at the APA 7th referencing style guide, I can see there are a few changes I need to make just to make this a perfect reference. So databases will not always have all the correct information, or the information will be formatted in slightly odd ways. So I need to make sure this works for my APA reference. The edits I need to make are, I need to remove this article description here, that's not necessary. And also, when I'm looking at this, I can see that the title is in title case or headline case, so almost every word has got a capital letter, and I need to change that so that it's sentence case. So a way to make a quick change, like removing this article in square brackets, is simply to click on the reference tab, find that in the fields here, and I can see it under type of article, and then just delete it. Now don't forget, you then need to choose to save those changes, so Control S for a PC, Command S on a Mac. And now when I check the preview again, that word article has disappeared from my reference. When it comes to changing the sentence case of the title, the easiest way to do that is to double click on the reference to open it in the full new reference window, and then use this tool here, which is the change case tool. So if I click on my title, I'm going to triple click to select the whole title, and then I'm going to use the Change Case button and choose Sentence Case. And you can see that this not only gives me sentence case for the title, but also the subtitle with a capital letter at the start of the subtitle, which is correct APA style. So that looks really good. I'm going to use my keyboard shortcut Control W to close that window, and I will be prompted to save it as well. And now if I look at my preview, that looks like a great reference. Now you can make these changes whenever you like, but we really recommend that you make them as you import your references. So just take that little bit of extra time to check your references after you've imported them and make the changes necessary so that the APA reference is, really good. That means that you won't have to do a whole lot of work at the end of your assignment process or your writing process, having to fix all the references in your library. You'll really thank yourself if you do that little bit of extra work now to save yourself a lot of work in the future. Now, if you look over in the left-hand panel, you'll notice that the references are grouped in the Imported References group here, and I can see I have 5 references. But if I want to see all my references, including the others that I entered before, I just click on All References. And that way I'll see every reference that I have either entered or imported into my EndNote library. Now we'll try exporting some references from another database. Let's try Scopus. So on the AUT Library homepage, with EndNote open in the background, I'm going to choose Databases, and under Find by Title, I'll type Scopus and select it when it comes up. I'll enter my search keywords and click Search. The process is very similar to the process in Library Search. Once I've done my search and I've narrowed my search down so I've got a great set of results, I just need to select the items that I want, and in this case I use the little checkbox next to each item, and then I click the Export button, which is at the top of my search results. Now the options you get here are a little different. First of all, you have to choose the RIS format, which has EndNote underneath, so that makes it nice and easy. Just tick that box there to make sure you're getting the right format for EndNote. And then you have a few more choices about what kind of information you want to export. So citation information is always exported by default, but you can add other useful information. For instance, you might find it useful to have the abstract and any keywords also in your EndNote library. These won't appear in the reference, of course, but they can be useful for your research. So I'm going to tick abstract and keywords as well. And then I'm going to click the Export button. Just like before, depends on what kind of browser you're using as to what happens next. So in Chrome, I've downloaded a little file called scopus.ris, and it appears in my downloads bar. If you're using another browser, it may ask if you want to open or save that file, and just say yes. So I'm going to click once on that file, and again it will export those references directly into EndNote. You can see that in my Imported References group I now have 4, so this is the latest lot of references that I'm importing. But in my All References group I have 12, so I now have every reference that I've imported. Now you know what you need to do. Click on each item, check the preview, make sure you don't need to make any changes. Lastly, we'll look at how to export references from Google Scholar. So I'll start on the AUT Library homepage and select AUT Google Scholar, and I'll do my search here. It's easy to export one record at a time from Google Scholar. You just use the Quote button or Cite button. So under this particular item here, I can click the Cite button. I see some examples of different citation styles, and then I use the EndNote button at the bottom here to download the file and open it up as usual. If you'd like to export more than one record at a time, you do need to sign into your Google account. So you use the little star button for this. When I click on the star, I'm prompted to log in with my Google account. And now I can tick the star for anything I find useful. These starred items have been added to My Library, so that's over here on the top right corner. If I click My Library, I can then select items to export. So I'm going to just select a few items here and use the Export button at the top and choose EndNote. This will download another file to my downloads bar, and when I click on that, these items will be imported into EndNote.